Hi everyone, today I want to introduce you to using lists in Python. This is going to be great if you're new to Python or programming or are coming to Python from a different programming language like Java or C++, as there are some differences you definitely need to be aware of. As you can see here, I'm using Python 3 on my Mac terminal, and I'm just going to get started by creating a simple shopping list. So I'm going to give it a variable, call it shopping list. And what I'm going to do to tell it that it's a list is I'm going to open and close it with a square bracket. Okay. And now I'm going to start putting some items. Let's put some bananas. And then I'm going to put the number 2. I'm going to put a Boolean true. I'm going to put another empty list. I'm going to put an empty object. And let's finish off with some cat food. Now, if you're coming from Java or C++, this would definitely be a problem for you because in those languages, an array, in that case, or a list, all the object types have to be the same. In Python, that's not the case. Now, as a result, there's some performance hits, but generally in Python, you just need a list of things. It doesn't care that those things may or may not be the same. To get access to the items in the list is the same way you work with an array. And in both cases, those are zero-based. So if you think about it, if I want to go for the first item, I need to have the 0th item. And so if I type here, shopping list, and give me the 0th item, it's going to give me bananas, which is the first item in the list. I can also do it sort of reverse. So I can go give me the last item in the list. And the way I do that is if I do shopping list and go -1. Okay, and that will give me cat food. That is the last item in the list. And you'll see how I can use this a little bit later when I want to take certain sections of my list. So the problem is now I have bananas and cat food, and then I have a whole bunch of things that I wouldn't normally find in a supermarket. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a few things that I can add and start looking at how I can manage this list a little bit later on. So the first thing I'm going to do is going to add some items to my list. So to do that, very simple. I'm going to do shopping list, and I'm going to add or append. And let's talk about pizza. That sounds like a good idea. Okay, so let's append pizza. Let's make sure that pizza is now on the list. Good. And as you can see, it's automatically at the end because I've appended it. Now, let's say I want to, since I'm near bananas, and I know that maybe potatoes are near the bananas, I want to insert that right next to the bananas. So what I can do is I go shopping list, insert, and I want to put it at position, the second item in the list, or position 1, and I'm going to say potatoes. Right. So now you can see I now have potatoes in the second item of the list. Now you'll see that the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th items aren't really food stuff, and it'd be really nice to get rid of those somehow. So the first thing I can do is I can remove the number 2. And the way I do that is I go shopping list. Well, if I inserted something, I can remove something. So I'm going to go ahead and say remove, and I remove the number 2. Okay, and as you can see, it's all gone. If I try and remove something that isn't there, so let's see if I can remove apples. Okay, it tells me it's not on the list. Okay, so I won't be able to do it. Now, the other thing I can do is I want to take a subsection of my list or a sublist. As you can see here, I have position 3 in my list being a Boolean value, which is not really helpful for me right now. And then I have an empty list here. So what I want to do is I'm going to go, well, that's the 0, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd and 3rd item. So what I want to do is shopping list, and I'm going to start from the 2nd item in the list. Okay, position 2. Actually, I want to start from the 3rd item in the list. So position 2. And then I want to go to the 4th item in the list, which is position 3. But when I do this subsection, if I want to include that item, I need to add to the ones that I'm not going to include. So it's sort of an exclusive end. It takes a while to get used to it, but once you get the idea of it, it makes it a lot easier. So as you can see, as a result, I'm bringing back the true value, and I'm bringing back the empty list, which is what I exactly want to do. If I only said 2 to 3, it would only bring back the true item, the true Boolean. So now that I have that, what I want to do now is I want to replace those two things with food items. So what I can do is I instead, now that I have a small sublist, I just replace it with another list of things. So here I'm going to add some yogurt and blueberries. Okay, and now if I check my shopping list, okay, you'll see that those two things have now been replaced with yogurt and blueberries. I now have one last thing in the list. So what I can do here is I have -1, -2, minus the third item. So I'm going to do shopping list minus the third item, and I'm going to assign it. We'll have a candy. Let's do candy. We've been good so far. Let's have a little bit of candy. And there you go. So now I've replaced it with candy. Okay, so now I have a shopping list of all the things. Now, what I can also do is I can get sort of the first 5 items in the list or the last five items in the list. And the way I do that is I go shopping list, and I can start from the 0th item, and I can go to, well, I wanted the 5th item in the list, so I'm going to go to position 4. So I got the first 5 items in the list. I could even get rid of the 0 and just type the colon and then the 5. And as you can see, it gives me the first items. I can also do the same the other way. So give me the last 5 items on the list. This one is a little bit tricky, but what I can do is I can go -5 and leave the last part blank. And that tells Python just go to the end. So that's it for now for working with lists. I hope it's been really, really helpful. Please add any comments below about anything you've seen. And if you want to see more, there's a little survey in the description I'd love you to fill out and let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.